In our next example here, we have the idea of a flag. Now, a flag is useful for a developer we can apply the idea in a lot of different ways, but really what it means is that a condition is going to trip usually a boolean from false to true. And just like, on your mailbox, you have the flag that you can raise up that says, I have mail in here, as opposed to I just expect to get new mail in here. A red flag, that's something that goes up to tell you not to swim here. It's something that goes up to tell you this is not an appropriate conversation to be in. A red flag goes up, in all of those cases. So, what a flag allows you to do is essentially trigger a marker that says something has happened that you should be, as a developer, aware of. So, for the most part, it is, lines 39 and above here are the same that they were before. But we do have the idea of a flag, and that's happening right here on line 37. So if your grade is an F, what we want is to essentially trigger this bool class failure. And we're going to turn that to true. So that means that you have failed this course. And you'll notice that we have if, and then in our parens right here, we have class failure. So what that's doing is testing if class failure is equal to true. That's what that statement evaluates as. And in so doing, if we have determined that class failure equals true, play our, or display rather, our fail message. And fail message we can see up here on lines, 18. It's a string fail message, and you'll notice that we have our two backslash n's in here. I want to create a little bit of space, and then the message, I'm sorry, but this means you'll have to repeat the class. Now, one thing I do want to mention here, and that's the reason I've baked it into, line number 18 here, is having messages that you might use again and again can turn out to be a big benefit to you as a developer. So instead of me just putting, that string, so instead of me just having this string, copying it here and pasting it here, and that being, I know I need the C out, but that being in line with my logic. Well, but what happens if numerous things trigger the fail message? What happens if I say, if class failure equals true, or, which we'll get to, or if academic warning, so like if we've caught you cheating, for example, and we say, well, to heck with you, you fail the class. So we can check for multiple conditions there, and multiple conditions will activate the flag for fail message. That makes it easier. I don't have to keep copying and pasting, and every time you copy and paste, you introduce the possibility of error into your code. Instead, I can just access this one fail message as many times as that comes across, and that turns out to be easier. So we're going to go ahead and run this. The logic hasn't changed from our if-else example before. I'll put in a 92 like I did, and my grade is an A. That is correct. This time around, if I get a 52, it says your grade is an F, and what you'll notice is, I'm sorry, but this means that you'll have to repeat the class. Now, one question I haven't addressed here, because I want to ask you before rather you travel on to the next video here in the series, is how come the first time I ran this, the fail message did not get triggered? So in my Boolean declaration here on line number 15, that means what is the default value that is set for a Boolean. Think about that, because that's important to the way we develop moving forward. Booleans have an initial value just like other things do, or we can assign to them an initial value, and that's what you're seeing here.